First thing we want to do is talk about your length. When you're dealing with longer hair, that's probably the thing that's most concerning to you. So what I'm gonna get you to do is grab that mirror, stand up, and then come back here and we're gonna check out what you got. Alrighty, now turn around where you can see your hair in the mirror. Alrighty, so you want to keep it as long as possible, but also as healthy as possible. So can you see how it starts to get a little thinner through here and gets a little thicker through the middle? So I'm going to use my comb and show you about where I'd like to cut it to. I'm thinking about right here, which will be cutting off about 1.5 inches in the center, but keeping 90% of everything on your corners to try to get a nice perimeter before we layer it. Okay, now have a seat and we'll talk about what we're going to do with the layers and stuff. All right, so now what we're gonna do is bring you into what's going on right now, having a little bit more layering in the front here and letting them fade out as they get to the back. I wanna start the layers right about here, jaw level, and then what they're gonna do is just kind of fade out, but we're gonna maintain all the corners in the back. Through the top here, I'm gonna put some longer layers to just give it a little bit of interior movement. And that's it, I'm excited.
As you can see here, Michael is setting the perimeter and taking off those ends to create that really nice, crisp, thick line across the base of the haircut. He's going to work his way up the head, and he's pulling it all down to that first guide. As he gets more hair, he is switching from cutting through his comb to cutting through his fingers to help control where it's sitting. Here you can see Michael setting in the layers in the front. So in the consultation, he talked about adding a lot more layering to the front of the haircut. And here you can see him doing that. And he's using over direction, pulling it across her face and setting in that steep angle, which is going to give it shortest length right in the front of her face, and it's going to create that soft push back to help keep her hair flowing out and away from her face. He's taking the shortest piece from the first side he cut to use as his guide, so that now he knows he's symmetrical, he knows that he's lined up, and mirroring that same angle on the second side. And here you can see him connecting in those layers in the back. Here you can see our stylist AJ starting to work on her color. Now we're going to be adding in some lightness, so she's going in first with a foiling technique. She is using woven sections to help create blend, and she's looking for lift from top to bottom, so she's working all the way through. You'll also notice that she's back combing before she puts the foil in, and that's going to diffuse the line, so it gives you a much softer starting point and a much more feathered aesthetic to the highlights when they're done. You can also see she's blending and working it up so that we don't have a hard stop and hard start at the root. This is going to be a very soft aesthetic to the highlights all over. And in between the foil packets, she's balayaging. So you can see her being mindful of her blending. She's still teasing some at the root to keep that feathered blend. So the end result of what this looks like is going to be a very soft, very natural feel, and as a guest in the salon, that's really nice because you can go a little bit longer in between your appointments. If time is a constraint, the grow out, even if you're still in every 6 weeks, the grow out looks so much softer and so much more organic. It's that sort of natural beauty, that very soft look. A lot of the times as stylists, we finish out balayage with curls because it shows the highs and lows, the contrast of the color really, really well, and it creates a beautiful, beautiful finish.